A third woman is expected to file a lawsuit against Texans quarterback Deshaun Watson, accusing the football star of sexual assault. Right now, 2 women are accusing Watson of lewd conduct while they were massaging him in 2 separate incidents last year. A representative from the Houston Area Women's Center says the nature of these high-profile cases may be difficult for survivors of sexual violence.
It takes so much courage for an individual to come forward with any sexual violence experience that they have. And then you add into the additional layers, you have a well-known and historically well-liked individual.
After the first allegation surfaced, Watson put out a statement saying he looked forward to clearing his name. Attorney Tony Buzbee, who's handling the alleged assault case, claims the third suit is the most shocking yet. KPRC2's Kathy Hernandez will have the latest on all of these cases ahead at 6:30.
Atlanta residents coming together to honor the 8 people who were killed by an accused mass shooter on Tuesday. The man suspected of going on that devastating killing spree will be arraigned in court this morning. Robert Long is accused of targeting 3 different massage parlors. 6 of the victims, women of Asian descent. There have been calls to stop Asian hate across the country. Police say Long told them the shootings were not racially motivated, but rather stemmed from a sex addiction and an attempt to eliminate his temptation. We spoke to some Atlanta residents who say they are not buying it.
I don't care if they try and make this a sex crime. There's a strip club right next to them. There are sex clubs all along this strip, and he specifically targeted 3 different locations owned by Asian Americans.
Investigators say they're not eliminating the possibility of this being a hate crime. Here locally, the Houston Police Department says they have stepped up patrols in Asian communities and will address concerns in an upcoming virtual town hall. A date has not yet been released.
Vanessa Bryant now naming the L.A. County Sheriff's deputies accused of sharing photos of the helicopter crash that took the life of her husband and their daughter, Gianna. This comes after a legal fight with L.A. County lawyers who tried to keep the identities of the accused sheriff's deputies secret. According to a lawsuit Bryant brought against L.A. County, the deputies' names are Raul Versales, Rafael Mejia, Joey Cruz, and Michael Russell. According to the lawsuit, one of the men took several photos of Kobe Bryant's remains there at the crash site. Those photos were then shared with other deputies, family members, and complete strangers. Vanessa Bryant is seeking damages for negligence and invasion of privacy.
Efforts are still underway across our area to help families in need who are trying to recover from last month's winter storm. 2 events are happening on the east side in Harris County Precinct 2 to assist people with applying for federal aid. The first is happening today at the Riley Chambers Community Center. The next one is happening Saturday at the Bay Area Community Center. Access to computers and the internet will be available from 10 a.m. until 5 p.m. during each event. Representatives will also be on hand to assist applicants in both English and Spanish.
Well, most people have not visited a museum in more than a year because of the pandemic.
Coming up, the art gallery that has found a high-tech solution to get people to look at their exhibits in a safe manner.
And the weather is over for us in terms of the storms, but it's just getting going. We've got active tornado warnings out across portions of the Deep South. Once again, we'll show you the details on that. For us, a beautiful afternoon, back into the upper 60s, but it's a little breezy and a little cool out there this morning, Annabelle.
All right, thank you, Justin. Got to get out and enjoy the sun while we have it. 6:08 is now your time. 16 minutes is what you can expect from Rice Military over to the Energy Corridor. Of course, right now we're not tracking any major crashes, but I'll keep a close eye on your highways coming up just ahead.
A new marina connected to a swanky gated community, financed with public dollars. So why is the U.S. government helping fund it?
This is not a priority.
People still haven't got their house prepared.
KPRC2 investigates tonight at 10.
The exceptional quality and style of Ethan Allen, plus special sale prices are yours. This March, enjoy savings of up to 25% store-wide with 48-month interest-free financing and complimentary design service. On now at Ethan Allen, Houston.
Did you know Texas Lending has great low VA rates? Ron, you called us for a VA loan.
I am a Navy veteran. Contacted Texas Lending from the commercials that we saw on TV. Contacted William, helped us purchase our new home.
Do it all online with TexasLending.com. We got them.
Enhance your outdoor living space year-round with our beautiful home and garden collection. Ethan Allen's style, comfort, and durability make a statement on your patio or poolside. This March, save up to 25% with 48-month interest-free financing and complimentary design service at Ethan Allen.
He was named an admiral in the Texas Navy for more than 30 years of service to our community. But we just call him Frank. And whether it's your storm or your weekend, he's our go-to weather guy. Frank Billingsley in KPRC 2 News. Now that's Houston.
Welcome back. 6:10 right now. Pardon me. In the age of COVID, as I get the prompter straight here, museums have had few visitors to their exhibits.
Safety is the primary reason, but now an art gallery at a Virginia university has found a high-tech workaround. The art gallery on the campus of Old Dominion University now has a robot that's built like a Segway. For just $15, you can control it from anywhere in the world using your phone, tablet, or computer. This allows people to take in all the visuals while staying safe at home.
It allows you, when you move around the space, to zoom in on art or labels. It's very user-friendly, it's very easy, and you can absolutely do it. It's a lot of fun, and there's something special to know that you're physically moving an object through a remote location.
You can take pictures, change the height of the robot, or even have a chat with the real humans in the gallery and ask staff members questions. And don't worry, it's got loads of sensors so you won't bump into anything that can break.
Good to know that.
Yes, indeed.
An 18-year-old with more computer skills than most adults is in trouble with the law. Ahead, his punishment for cyber attacks on high-profile Twitter accounts, including that of former President Obama.
Plus, the big ruling the judge says he'll make in the Derek Chauvin trial. It could make a big difference in jury selection. Time now, 6:12.
Brought to you by WeatherTech Automotive Accessories. Shop WeatherTech.com today.
Nothing tastes better than fresh vegetables from your own garden. Plant the varieties you want from Houston Garden Centers. Tomatoes, peppers, squash, eggplant, cucumbers, and much more at Houston Garden Centers with better plants for less.
Acura dealers for attractive offers on the TLX.
What does it take to make a great mattress? People who believe in what they're doing, who stand by what they're making, with hard work, conviction, and care, who create quality and expect excellence. We are Texas Mattress Makers, and this is what we do.
Spring into savings and get up to 35% off plus free delivery on select mattresses. TexasMattressMakers.com. Making history with 0% APR for the first time ever on your favorite Honda models. 0% APR on the 2021 HR-V, on the 2021 Pilot, and on the 2021 Passport. 0% APR on the 2021 CR-V and on the 2021 Ridgeline. Upgrade with ease during the Honda Dream Garage Spring Event at TeamGilmanHonda.com. 3 locations, triple the savings. Team Gilman Honda North, Team Gilman Honda West, Team Gilman Honda Fort Bend. Team Gilman Honda, the only way to go.
Shrubs add the perfect finish to your landscaping, and we have the largest selection of shrubs in Texas. We have boxwood, hawthorn, wax ligustrum, pittosporum, bottlebrush, photinia, and lots more. All at Houston Garden Centers with better plants for less.
Jury selection continues today in the Derek Chauvin murder trial. Tomorrow, the judge says he will rule on a defense request to delay and even change venues for the trial due to the news about the $27 million civil settlement between the city of Minneapolis and George Floyd's family. Yesterday, the judge dismissed 2 of the sitting jurors that were selected last week after they say they were swayed about hearing about that settlement. But 2 new jurors were seated later in the day, putting the jury back at 9. In all, 14 jurors, including 2 alternates, are needed for the start of that trial. The hacker who pleaded guilty to leading last year's breach of celebrity Twitter accounts will serve 3 years in a juvenile prison. 18-year-old Graham Clark was facing fraud charges after he broke into high-profile Twitter accounts, including Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, and former President Obama. Prosecutors say Clark had those accounts tweet fake messages that promoted Bitcoin, promising to double the funds for people who sent cryptocurrency.
Now to the border crisis, where the Biden administration is struggling to manage the surge of migrants while also fighting to contain the political fallout. This comes as the House prepares to vote on 2 major immigration bills. NBC's Tracy Potts joining us now with the latest. Tracy, that legislation will face a tough battle in the Senate.
Right. We don't even know if it'll get a hearing in the Senate. We do know that Democrats have put it on the agenda for the House of Representatives today. 2 votes, one on whether farm workers should get legal status, the other vote on whether there should be a path to citizenship for dreamers, those who were brought here as children. And as you note, this is all happening against the backdrop of the situation at the border right now. Thousands of children in U.S. custody as they try to figure out how to not encourage people to come across the border, but change policy and also deal with what now seems to be an influx of migrants at that border with Mexico. Lawmakers and the administration are trying to deal with that. Also on Capitol Hill today, there's a hearing about Asian American discrimination in light of what happened in Atlanta this week, in light of what's happened in a lot of Asian communities over the course of the past year, a lot of them being blamed for COVID when they did not bring it to this country. And we are going to get an update from America's top doctors on COVID, where we are with getting people vaccinated and trying to eliminate this virus. The CDC also expecting to release some new guidelines on what classrooms should look like.
A lot to keep track of this morning. Tracy Potts reporting live for us this morning. Thanks so much.
6:17 the time, and developing a story we're tracking right now. Dangerous storms leaving a path of destruction across the South. This is video out of Tuscaloosa, Alabama, where high winds tore the roofs off homes, sending them flying. And just to the east of Tuscaloosa, a look at the aftermath in Chilton County, Alabama. Many homes were destroyed or partially damaged. Justin, the image is just incredible there. You're following the latest as those storms move
Yeah, I was just looking at that last video that we had there. If you saw just to the left of the screen, there was what looked to be some kind of a part of the roof, and it was like twisted like a bow tie around the tree. That's what they always look for. The damage assessment teams, when they get out there, you look for things like that, because that gives you an indication of kind of the strength that you're dealing with, like our boat that we saw that was wrapped around a tree. Right? If the boat wrapped around a tree, good chance is there was a tornado that came through there. All right, so we're shifting everything in terms of the severe weather threat today to Georgia, South Georgia into the Carolinas. There's the low right there from about St. Louis on down towards the southwestern tip of Missouri. You can see the snow on the backside of that. And this whole system is going to be pushing eastward. And yes, we already have tornado warnings out there. That includes just outside of Panama City, right around Dothan, Alabama. And that's going to be crisscrossing its way over in towards southwest Georgia. So this is likely where we'll start to see things fire up through much of the day today. There's still a lot of populated areas there, so the threat is not over just yet. Meanwhile, for us, we're on the backside of this low, and one of the reasons why it's so breezy and cool this morning is it's tapping into all that refrigerated air that's coming off of the Colorado Rockies, for example, where, remember, they got 2 feet of snow. Not only that, high pressure moving in behind that. There's these invisible lines. They're called pressure lines in the atmosphere. And when you squeeze them together, when the low moves and the high moves in, the winds really start to pick up, kind of like taking water from a bigger pipe into a smaller pipe. It increases the speed of that water. Wind works the same way. And that's one of the reasons why you see those winds anywhere from around 12, 16 miles an hour. Cooler air moving in as well, drier air. We won't see any clouds today. And we've got a nice cool start, 45 up towards College Station, upper 40s from Tomball up towards southern Grimes County. Same thing out towards Magnolia, Tomball, and into Pinehurst. We're at about 48 as well. So we're going to see the winds anywhere from around 10 to 15, 20 miles an hour wind gusts, clocking in at around 25. I've seen 35 down towards the coast this morning. They should stay that way for much of the day today. But eventually, as that low gets out of the way, high pressure moves in. That should relax the winds. It's going going to keep us nice and sunny through the weekend. And into next week is when we start to see the rain chances pick up once again, as we have another front that's going to slide through here. This one also could bring some strong thunderstorms, similar to what we saw yesterday on Tuesday. Once that's out of there, we've got one more hit going in towards Thursday. Kind of typical for this time of year. We get these systems sliding on through. This is when most of the United States kind of gets very volatile because you've got the warm air masses and the cold air kind of clashing with each other. And so this is just, spring storm season. But next couple of days are going to be nearly perfect. We've got 68 today. We'll keep it nice and cool in the 40s in through the weekend. Spring officially kicking off on Saturday. And we'll keep low 70s to the mid 70s going in towards Sunday. And then next weekend, Avid, we will worry about the rain. Next week, we will enjoy the nice weather starting today in through the weekend.
Right, giving us a few days in advance to mentally prepare for what's happening next weekend, or next week, I should say. Here's a live look at the East Beltway at Galveston Road. So if you don't have spring break off and you have to travel into work, at least your commute is going to be really smooth. Everybody has the green light this morning. Something to watch out for, though, along the East Beltway in the northbound direction at Galveston Road. There's a stalled vehicle just up ahead, but that's literally the only thing that I'm tracking. I mean, take a look at your Houston Metro map right behind me. Lots of green there. Want to let you know about a big closure happening this weekend. In fact, kicking off at 1 a.m. on Friday up in Crosby. So there's going to be some major railroad construction there. TxDOT will be conducting this closure on FM 2100, both in the northbound and southbound direction between 1960 and Old Atascocita. Your alternate route in the area is to use 90 or 1960 east of 2100 for your eastbound and westbound traffic. Drive times overall in the green, traveling into downtown Houston. Coming inbound from the Woodlands on the North Freeway, not a thing to worry about. 26 minutes into downtown. Kingwood via the East Tex, a 23-minute drive. Andy and Lisa.
And Avid, thank you. Marathon legend Dick Hoyt has passed away at the age of 80. You may know him from any of the 32 Boston marathons he completed with his quadriplegic son. The dad, who was inspired to run by his son Rick, would push his son in a custom racing chair across every finish line. Team Hoyt, as they were known, started their racing journey back in 1980 with the final finish in 2014. Coming up this morning on Today, a look back at this inspiring man and the incredible bond between a father and his son.
With more people getting vaccinated, the travel industry is getting a much-needed boost. Now one airline is expanding. KPRC2's Maribel Hebert live in Florida with the story.
Hey, that's right. Next, a look at which Texas-based airline is giving Houstonians more options when it comes to destinations and where to fly out of. Coming up.
Ashley Home Store's anniversary sale mattress event is going on now. Get 0% financing for 5 years on top bedding brands. Plus, get up to a $200 rewards card on qualifying mattress purchases for a limited time only at Ashley Home Store.
We're feeling the love at Gilman Subaru North, ranked Houston's #1 Subaru dealer 2 years in a row. So we're paying it forward during the Subaru A Lot to Love event. This month, take home the new 2021 Outback for just $229 a month, or take home the new 2021 Crosstrek, just $219 a month, all with complimentary maintenance and home delivery. Only at Houston's #1 Subaru dealer, Gilman Subaru North, I-45 North and FM 1960, or shop online at GilmanSubaruNorth.com.
This is John. He's not an actor or a director. Can you tell? He calls himself a steward of the land. And by the looks of the way he nurtures his little corner of the earth, it's safe to say he's the real deal. John runs with us on a John Deere 3 Series tractor because you can never underestimate the value of a little tractor time. Nothing runs like a Deere. Get a 3 Series tractor for 0% APR for 60 months.
This weekend only at Ashley Home Store's anniversary sale. Save up to 25% off store-wide. Or get 0% interest for 5 years plus 3 months payment assistance. This weekend only at Ashley Home Store. This is home.
Are you and Stabler good partners? We've worked together a long time. I can anticipate what he's thinking, what he's going to do. Yeah, we have a great rapport.
Elliot put his papers in. There was nothing I could do.
Liv!
The SVU Organized Crime crossover event, April 1st on NBC.
After a tough year, Southwest Airlines is getting ready to expand. That includes more options for Houston travelers. Maribel Hebert is live at the Money Desk in Florida with more. Maribel, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Andy. Southwest continues to expand its network. The airline will start offering routes to and from Houston's George Bush Intercontinental Airport next month. Southwest has been entering new markets at a rapid pace during the pandemic as it looks to put its planes and crews to work. The airline has entered or announced plans to launch service to 17 new airports over the last year. Southwest has been running a spring fare sale through tomorrow. One of the deals, $49 one-way ticket between Houston and New Orleans. The FCC has hit 2 telemarketers with the largest fine ever for robocalls. The Texas-based businesses were fined $225 million. Combined, they made about 1 billion robocalls to people across the U.S. in 2019. The businesses originated under the names Rising Eagle and J Squared Telecom. The calls falsely claimed to sell health insurance from Aetna, Blue Cross Blue Shield, and other companies. Speaking of scams, guys, if you haven't watched Trafficked with Mariana Van Zeller, it's on Nat Geo. You got to check it out because it really looks into the scamming world. I want you to watch the episode 1 on Jamaica and Israel. All right?
Okay.
Crazy.
Okay.
Andy and Lisa.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah, it absolutely does. Maribel, thank you. Well, get your brackets ready. March Madness is here.
That's right. Coming up, who will represent the Houston area on this first big day of the big dance? Anavid, good morning.
Good morning. And the congestion madness is picking up here along the northbound lanes of the Southwest Freeway at Chimney Rock, heading towards the West Loop, slowing down significantly. The good news is, though, Justin, no crashes to report just before 6:30.
Yeah, it's nice to see that. Unfortunately, things are still getting rocky across parts of the Deep South. We've got multiple tornado warnings out in the Panhandle and out towards Dothan, Alabama. We'll talk more about the threat there. For us, it's a cool start. We've got temperatures in the 50s, but a lot of sunshine this afternoon. You'll like what you'll see. I'll have that forecast in your weekend coming up next at 6:27.
It's not enough to be the leader in robotic-assisted procedures if we're not by your side for every step of your recovery, guiding you back to what makes you, you. Because it's not enough to replace your knee if we're not getting you to the moments that can't be replaced. Memorial Hermann, advancing health, personalizing care.
Your sleep keeps me up at night. It's true, mattresses are my life's work. Before the showrooms, there was just me and this factory. We've studied every part of your mattress, every fabric, every coil, every stitch. Those details are what build Texas mattress makers. Every little thing that goes into making a great mattress.
Spring into savings and get up to 35% off plus free delivery on select mattresses.
We do one thing. We create the best mattresses in Texas.
Discover the family of award-winning Mazda CUVs. The versatile Mazda CX-5, the 3-row Mazda CX-9, and the turbo-powered Mazda CX-30. All available with predictive all-wheel drive, all engineered to deliver confidence on the road ahead.
Discover 0% financing and no payments for 90 days on all new 2021 Mazda CUVs today.
This is a no-nonsense message from 3. Small business insurance usually doesn't cover everything you need. It's long on pages, short on coverage. That's why 3 was created. It covers your entire business in just one policy because small business owners have enough on their hands. So go with 3 and leave those old policies in the dust. Sawdust, technically. Don't interrupt the spokesperson. This commercial is now over. Logo 3. No nonsense, just common sense.
The Texas power grid failed because its operators didn't see the need to prepare for cold weather, even after they were warned by experts over and over. The power companies were told what should be done, but repeatedly ignored warnings. And now 4 million Texan families and businesses lost power during a massive storm. The power companies must be held accountable. If you lost power and sustained a financial loss or personal injury and want compensation, call 800-800-2828. Don't let greed and a lack of planning be acceptable. Call 800-800-2828 right now.
This is KPRC 2 News Today.
This morning, more allegations of sexual assault against Texans quarterback Deshaun Watson. What we know about the third woman who is ready to file suit.
Also, homes and businesses across the Deep South destroyed overnight by severe weather. Ahead, a look at some of the cities hardest hit.
The new benefit to the aspirin in your medicine cabinet, the role it can play in the battle against the coronavirus.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Lisa Hernandez.
And I'm Andy Sirota in for Owen Conflenti. Anavid is in with what's driving Houston. But first, let's get right over to meteorologist Justin Stapleton, who's in for Britta. Boy, it is a picture-perfect morning.
Wait till the sun comes up. It's going to look real nice, as they like to say. Even down in Galveston, what's interesting is the last couple of mornings we were looking, we could always see the fog coming off of the streetlights. And today, it's not out there because that cooler air has moved in. All of that kind of muggy, sort of moisture-rich air mass is gone, too. And this is the big indicator, the dew point. Dew point's the amount of moisture in the atmosphere. The higher that number is, the stickier the air feels. 30s and 50s. That's good. We'll take that. But notice that the winds are cranking at around 16 miles an hour. A live look from here at KPRC2, 50 in both Sugar Land and up at the big airport. And we've got those winds continuing to blast out of the northwest. And they'll stay breezy for much of the day today. So definitely a jacket this morning. We've got some upper 40s, mid 40s as you work your way up towards College Station. Low 50s from Hobby down to Angleton. All of our friends over in Liberty County sitting in the upper 40s. And we're still tracking severe weather. Look at this. Multiple severe weather warnings. Thunderstorms and some tornadoes have already popped across southern parts of Alabama, and we've got this huge swirl. We'll talk more about what's coming for folks over that way, Anavid, but for us, it's a nice afternoon. We're going to see the temperatures topping out in the upper 60s.
I love it. Got to get out and enjoy it. 6:31 now your time. According to Waze, the system is tracking a slowdown. You're down to 19 miles per hour in the westbound direction along the North Loop as you're approaching the North Freeway. And sure enough, this is a live look at what you can expect in terms of your slowdown. Stop and go traffic here reported at Irvington Boulevard and then as far back as Hardy as well. So this morning, we're not seeing any crashes or incidents reported in the immediate area, but of course, I'll keep a close eye on it to see if any developments come to light in the minutes just ahead.
And Anavid, thank you. Texans quarterback Deshaun Watson is facing new allegations of sexual assault.
A third woman is expected to file a lawsuit against him. This as we learn more about the first two accusers. KPRC2's Kathy Hernandez live at NRG with a look at those mounting accusations. Kathy.
Good morning. We don't yet have details on that third lawsuit, but Tony Buzbee says it is the most shocking one yet. He also says that it is a lawsuit of 6 total lawsuits.
This is going to come down to the proverbial he said, she said.
He is star quarterback Deshaun Watson. 2 women now accuse him of sexual misconduct. A lawsuit filed Tuesday says a massage therapist who works from her Houston home accused Watson of sexual assaulting her during a massage in March of last year. It claims he touched her with his private part before she asked him to leave. A second suit filed yesterday says Watson flew another massage therapist from Atlanta to Houston for a massage last August. It says a massage allegedly happened at the Houstonian Hotel, in which he was completely nude and made her feel uncomfortable. Both lawsuits claim Watson told the women he wanted them to focus on his groin area. The executive director of the Houston Area Women's Center urges people have compassion and show support for the survivors.
It takes so much courage for an individual to come forward with any sexual violence experience that they have. And then you have a well-known and historically well-liked individual.
Watson has denied the allegations. He responded on Twitter after the first lawsuit came to light saying, quote, "I have never treated any woman with anything other than the utmost respect."
Courthouse exists so that citizens can settle their differences based on proof. Because it.
And Buzbee says that though it is not about money, the women are only seeking $500. Instead, he says it's about raising awareness so it doesn't happen to others. In both lawsuits, they say that those women have suffered mental anguish. Reporting live at NRG, Kathy Hernandez, KPRC 2 News.
Kathy, thank you.